What's up, YouTuber? This is your boy Steven here, and today I'm gonna be discussing about my basically my reaction to the fight from last week with Triple G and Danny Jacob, and basically just give you the pros and cons on the fight for each fighter and what they did good, what they didn't do good. Few things to discuss about. One, I'm not leaning towards any favoritism of the fighters. I admire both of them, their knockout power for their past fights and everything. I like both of them. There's no favoritism. So I'm just gonna be neutral as possible with this. And it's whatever y'all feel like it. Yeah, whatever. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to it. Well, overall the fight is pretty much it started off slow for like the first few rounds when the boxers basically try to feel each other out and everything, and then it escalated a little bit. And I mean, overall, it's a good fight. It's a really good fight. It wasn't as boring as the fight of the century, which is actually good because at least we saw a knockdown. We saw a knockdown. We saw a little skirmish here and there. Everything. The only thing that was wrong with that whole entire fight is that it should not went to the scoring cards at all. It should have just went like somebody has to get knocked out, or referee stoppage or something. Yeah. So let's start off with Triple G. Apparently, he won the fight with unanimous decision. Like in my opinion, I don't think he really won unanimously the whole fight. I mean, like, yeah, he did good. He did good with his jabs, and sometimes you can throw jabs, and it is if you are like good at throwing jabs, you can win fights with just throwing jabs. Not really a lot of cases of where you can, but it is possible. But see, the good thing that G did was was hitting Danny Jacob with them stiff jabs, and you could tell that it was really damaging him. Like one thing a lot of people don't realize is that Triple G is not a one punch knockout person. Basically, he's more of a bombarding attacker. Like he'll attack you multiple times in the same spot, kind of deal, and switching it up. And if you're not careful, you're not guarding certain spots on time, like fast enough, then of course, you gonna feel it, and then your body's gonna react, and it's gonna it's gonna hurt, just like you see some of these fights. You rarely see actually a clear, oh, he's out on the canvas and sleep, knocked out by from Triple G. So, like, that's a lot of people got that mistaken. Yeah, he got a high KO ratio, but really, a lot of his KO or TKOs are really from some referee stoppage from them just getting beaten to a pulp, which says a lot. So, anyway, so Triple G he won the fight. He basically won his fights by using a jab. He basically pulled the same tactic he was trying to do with David Lubitz, and overall it was effective, but it was not as he expected. And you can see in Triple G that he was frustrated that he couldn't really land it clean power shots. He landed some, and you can tell that it was taking effect. Like he rocked Danny Jacob a couple times and everything. But overall, it was a pretty good fight. He had too much respect for him, and I think that he should have tried to make it to a slugfest, basically. Like, to be honest. But yeah. So see, the bad thing that Triple G did was he looked sloppy in some cases. He he didn't read the opponent real well, so he couldn't really land those hits like he should. So it wasn't like as we see him against other opponents where he's hitting these combinations. He couldn't really land a combination. So when it comes to Danny Jacob, he did exactly what he was told to do. Pretty much is basically, try to control the pace and keep it so that Triple G cannot hit him with these power shots. And that's what he did. However, he didn't do enough, which leads to a point where why Triple G won. Because one, Danny Jacobs is a challenger, and most of the time when you have a championship bout, you got to show that you got to make the champion look bad. Basically, you got to make him look really bad in order for you to win. And I mean, Danny Jacobs did a good job in some part of the rounds where he was basically doing the bob and weaving, but you could tell that he was tired. He couldn't engage like he should. He was throwing little flurries that looked impressive, but it wasn't doing anything because they just been blocked. And that's another thing that a lot of people don't realize. Like Triple G, he's he's a traditional Eastern European fighter. Basically, you could tell that like he likes to stand there and brawl. That's just Triple G been doing that all his life. He grew up. He tell his life story basically. He grew up. He'll fight anywhere. He'll fight on the street. Everything. When he was little kids, they would just fight. So, man, like a lot of people don't realize that. You got to understand like who Triple G is or who Danny Jacob is. Yeah, like some people live in certain areas and they grow up to be fighters, and that's exactly what they both are. They both are fighters. Notice of their KO power. They are fighters. They knock people out. And the problem was both of them have too much respect, too much being cautious, and they are afraid. Well, Triple G's not afraid of being hit, but Danny Jacob was really he he didn't have the confidence of actually say, "Oh, I can knock Triple G down." If he really had that confidence, then he would have pursued Triple G more and be more aggressive. Whereas he can be able to dominate majority of the time, not just half of the time, because you can't win if you just halfway committing to your attacks. And you could tell that he wasn't fully committed to his attack because he was trying to do what his trainer told him to do, which I believe that he should fire his trainer and get somebody else because his trainer is not telling him to do the right thing. Because one, he's not a person that goes 12 rounds and try to win with decision. And like for them to even tell him to do that, they should be ashamed of themselves because you can't just be like, oh yeah, I know he's a knockout artist. We ain't gonna take no chances, so we're gonna try to play this safe. Like if you want to be a real champion, you want to prove something like you say you're going to do, you should have just do what you say you're going to do. You gotta put that commitment to what you say. You can't say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm not afraid of him because I beat cancer," and then you come in the ring, and then you just run around and act, and you not committing to your offense. You commit too much to your defense. And you're not doing anything. It's like even in the end of the 12th round, you could tell that he was tired. He didn't kneel on the canvas and was like, "Yes, I did it." No, he wasn't like that. He was more like, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm glad it's over. It's finally over. Like this is too much. It was too much for him." Triple G walked back fine. He was okay. Then Jacob, he gassed out. At the very end, he couldn't handle it anymore. It was too much. He may fool all his fans and everything like that, but we all know that he pretty much got wrecked. The results was there. That's another thing. Like if I was a judge, I wouldn't care about the scorecard. I would say, look, I know Triple G won because of the results. The results is there. You can't win by doing soft commit offense where it didn't do anything at all. You didn't control the pace. The only thing you didn't control was, okay, I didn't get hit by power punches like that, but I still getting hit by them jabs. I can't engage because I'm being hit by these jabs, and all I do is do 2 punches and I clinch, which means one, you're scared of getting hit. Two, when you got hit, you say if that was all you got, it was a clear indication that you weren't yourself after that, and you've been rocked a few times, and you try to brush it off, but your body language says it all. And most of the time, they try to do the opposite of when they got hurt, and that's clearly what happened here. However, with the pros for Danny Jacobs was indeed he was a better boxer than Triple G because he's able to move. He had better head movement than Triple G. Triple G don't move his head. He do more blocking than anything else, and his blocking is very effective. Danny Jacob, what he should have done, he should have done a little weaving instead of weaving the whole time. He should have tried to do some counter. See, that's a big difference between like when Floyd Mayweather was boxing and when Danny Jacob was boxing, because Floyd Mayweather he would dodge, but he was able to land a counter hit at the same time. And Danny Jacob couldn't do that because he had to wait till Triple G stop and then he would try to counter. He couldn't simultaneously counter at the same time because it wasn't how he's supposed to fight. He was supposed to fight where he's more aggressive. So not only that, a lot of people say that it was race involved in this judge scoring and everything, and it was saying it was white and black, yeah. But in my honest opinion, one thing that everybody I know a lot of people may think that, but Triple G is not all white. He's really not Caucasian white. He's not any of that. Yeah, his father is Russian, and his mama is Korean. So you got a Russian and a Korean together. You're not gonna make just a full white baby. That's just biology. That's genetics. There's probably more to it than just that anyway. So, but yeah. So you got a half Korean, half a Russian white boxer, basically. And I don't think any white person that's racist is gonna root for him anyway because the simple matter of fact that he's half Korean. So with that being said, y'all can just disregard of the race thing, because if y'all really pay attention to fight, instead of being biased to which fighter what, you got to understand one thing. A lot of people need to understand that like champions fight is scored very differently than a regular fight. If this probably was a regular fight, I think Danny Jacobs would win in that category because he did land more power punches than Triple G. However, in a champion fight, you're the challenger. You get knocked down. There is no way for you to even win a fight without showing any dominance at all. It's very, very slim chance. See, the difference between the other fight that was also had a lot of controversy was the Andre Ward the Corvallo fight. And I probably gonna butcher his name so bad, but who cares? Just everybody know that the last Andre Ward fight that they supposed to have a rematch soon. That fight right there, like clearly Andre Ward got knocked down and he had to wake up from that. But Andre Ward showed that he did put effort in trying to regain control. And that's a probably reason why he won the match. Because, like I tell you, they not just scoring the car based off a point. They scoring on your performance and everything else to it. If you're not showing heart, then you don't deserve to win. And that's what Danny Jacobs showed. He didn't show any heart of actually turning to become the aggressor. He was so passive. Like, you can't be passive in boxing and expect to win. And a lot of people probably like, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. But to be honest, it's a huge difference in when you're fighting defensively and actually making a fool of somebody down when you're fighting because you're trying to survive the rounds. And that's what Danny Jacobs did. All he did was survive the round. When he got knocked down on the fourth round, that's all he pretty much did the whole entire time. And no, you may not believe it, but it is clearly shown there. So that's one thing. And another thing is, it's like Danny Jacobs. It's like for him to even say those things about, oh, it's because Canelo and Triple G fight, well, it's a better promotion, so they had to exit him out. He shouldn't even just say that in the first place because one that fight has already been talked about for a long time, but it may not even happen even now because it's a simple matter of fact that Canelo didn't deserve it because they waited 2 years for him to fight and it never happened. So he can't really say anything about that because it may not even happen. So then what? Then what? So what's your excuse now? You know what I'm saying? So it's really just a personal opinion, and this is what he thought. He think that he's the best in the world, but like you can't say you're the best in the world just because you win cancer, just because you survive cancer. It's like you had a slim chance anyway. And like luckily that God had mercy on his health and he survived cancer. But if the cancer came back, guess what? You may not survive that time. It's like really, you may not even box ever again. He need to really, to be honest, he need to be humble. He need to do the right thing and just accept the fact that deep down he didn't do much. He didn't do much. He should have believed in his own self. If he really was not afraid of Triple G, then he should have been the aggressor. He should have showed to everybody like, look, I'm a KO. I'm a KO artist as well. I can knock just as much as not just enough people out as like Triple G, and I'm sure I can knock Triple G out too. Instead of like playing the safe route, and especially at the post interview when he was like, when I first got hit, I thought this is all he got, and I was taking shots after that. Yeah, you were taking shots after that, but Triple G is not a one punch trick person. Basically, he's not going to knock you completely out in one punch. He's not that. He's just heavy handed, and a lot of people will tell you that in their sparring. Like he hits heavy every time. Even his jab is heavy. So when you get hit, you may not think that you felt it because you had those adrenaline rush, but guess what? But your face, the results will show. It's not like it's a mental thing basically. But eventually, if you get hit too many times enough, it's gonna really show, and the result is gonna be there. See, that's a big difference with Triple G. A lot of people need to understand that too. And Danny Jacob probably failed to realize that. See, in my opinion, Danny Jacob should have been an aggressor because Triple G doesn't like to throw punches while he's walking back, while he's going backwards. And I hope everybody else saw that as well. If you really want to show dominant, you should have kept pushing. And then when he tried to swing, use your head movements or take a step back and then come back at him again because he's not going. He's got to switch up. If you force him to switch his strategy, that shows that you had the advantage. Then Jacob had to switch his strategy like 4, 5, 6 times. Went from southpaw to orthodox, and southpaw again to orthodox, and then do clinching, then do the jab, and then do power punches, and do more clinching. It's like, come on now, like y'all got to open your eyes on these things. Like you either got to do like slow motion and pay attention to the reaction of the boxer when they are getting hit. That's how you know who is dominating, who is not. Yeah, Triple G is frustrated, but he's not frustrated because Danny Jacobs stopping him. He's frustrated because he can't throw heavy power punches like he wants to. Because the simple matter of fact was this: that Danny Jacobs was able to dodge and get out of harm's way at the same time. But when it comes to the jabbing part, no way Danny Jacobs was able to react on time. React on time to dodge the jabs or block the jabs. It went through his blocks, it goes through, and it stops him from even initiating. So you could tell who did more work, who got tired more. Triple G threw more punches and landed more because he had more chances of hitting Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs threw less, even though he hit just a fairly high percentage of it, of power shots, but it was not enough to really control the fight. There are some cases that it would happen that a fighter can throw less punch but have a high percentage of hitting them, and then you would actually see the results. But when you look at Triple G, he's not backing away, and Danny Jacobs moved forward constantly for a couple rounds. Danny Jacobs was always was basically on the ropes the whole entire 12 rounds. There was no sign of him actually dominating. He wins those rounds from his counter punches. That's the only reason why. But he wasn't consistent on that because it requires a lot of energy and concentration to even throw these things without gassing out completely. That's why you see on the 12th round, he's on his knees. He ain't even got up. His trainer had to pick him up and get him out. So, and then at the post fight, you see his face all bruised up when he was on the interview. His eyes was almost swollen shut. His eyes is swollen shut on the right eye. And you cannot say that he was dominating the fight. If you were dominating the fight, that means you were actually hitting the other opponent more, and you were getting hit less. Because yeah, you can get hit one power shot and then you can swell up real fast. But with him, I believe he can hit multiple times. He can get hit multiple times without him getting really swollen up like that. So for him to actually his eye to be almost swollen shut shows that he was being tagged all night. With that being said, Triple G won the fight. In my opinion, it could win split decision if Danny Jacobs shows more heart to it. He actually clearly could have won unanimous if he put more effort into actually being the aggressor. Instead of being the passive and running around Floyd Mayweather style kind of fight, then that's another story. But anyway, if you feel like what I say is wrong, you want to put some insight in, you can go into the comments down below and comment your insight, and I'm gladly to reply to your comments, and I can explain even more into deeper depths about certain things that happen in the fight. You know, I'm still looking at the fight myself to actually make sure that whatever I say is still true and accurate. So, but I don't believe in the compu box like that. I just see based on what I saw, and I just basically just based off on my observation, I can tell you exactly what is wrong with their style and then what they did good in their strategy. Well, anyway, this is your boy Steve. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Comment down below, like, whatever you do want to do. And y'all have a good night.